Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video I'm excited to do, it is finally going to be my monthly ranking, my makeup monthly, for the month of June, where I rank all of the products that I've been testing out recently from my least favorite to my top favorite. I also do a creator shout out in these videos, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, I'm a little bit behind posting my makeup monthly for June, but here we are. This is what we're doing today. Before we jump into it, to share with you my Vegas OOTD. This is really like a Vegas OOTD today, and I considered not wearing it for a YouTube video, but I just got done doing an Instagram live. If you watched this get ready with me on my Instagram live, which there was a lot of you, I talk in there about being unbothered by other people's opinions. And so I put this on so I could take some photos, and it's what I'm planning to wear tonight. And then I took it off and put a different outfit on, and then I said, no, that's not what you're gonna do. That's not what you're gonna do, Samantha. So then I put it back on. So this is just a dress from Shein. I can link it down below. I feel kind of like cave woman vibes in this. I'm not really sure why. I'm not really sure that's one of the vibes I'm getting, but I've been loving my gold jewelry. All my jewelry is from Luisa, and I felt like with the dress, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. So, and it's also super comfortable. So that is my Vegas OOTD. I always link all of my makeup in the description box, but I will also link the get ready with me that I did live on my Instagram. I did get very rudely cut off by Instagram, and then my whole app went down for like the next hour, which is fine. But the majority of my get ready with me is over on, it'll be an IGTV, and I'm just March Beauty Word on Instagram if you're not following me yet over there. But welcome to a new makeup monthly. Like I said, I'm gonna rank from my least favorite to my top favorite. I have the creator shout out. I don't have a book favorite this month. I didn't review any 5-star books in the month of June on Chick Lit Plus, but that's okay. Let's get started with the ranking though. At the bottom, so I've been really enjoying testing out skin tints and CC creams and tinted moisturizers and all of the fun things. This one did not work out so well for me. It did not work out so well for me. This is from Dermablend, and this is the CC cream. Their continuous correction full coverage CC cream says tone, coverage, correction, protection, and it has SPF 50 in it. I was super curious to try this out, and then it had the SPF in it. I don't think I've ever tried anything from Dermablend. This was sent to me in PR, and I was like, okay then. 25N is the shade I have. I do think it was a little bit too light for me, but I wanted to test it out and see how it worked, and I really didn't enjoy it. It is very thick. It is pretty full coverage, which a lot of times with a skin tint or a CC cream or whatever, I kind of like it to be lighter coverage. To me, that's kind of like the point of it. So this was pretty thick. It felt pretty heavy on my skin, but I just never felt like my skin looked good. And there was a video that I did, and you know, I'm filming it and I'm saying in the video, I just don't really like how my skin is looking right now. And then there was even some comments in that video of people like, yeah, you know, not so good. And then I do have a video showing me testing this out on my Instagram, so I can also link that one. And the comments were like, yeah, I really don't think this is gonna be the one for you. Perhaps if you have more oily skin, this one might be a good option for you. I did actually give a gal at the complex here, she was looking for some new foundations, so I gave her, and she's quite lighter than me, so they sent me really light shades, so I passed one on to her. So I'm gonna follow up with her and see if she tried it yet and if she used it and what her thoughts are. But maybe if you're more oily, it might work a little bit better for you. I do have more dry skin, and again, it felt so heavy. It looked like I was wearing a lot of makeup, and I just felt like it made my skin look older, and I'm not a fan. I just don't want that happening. So unfortunately, I didn't even say what we're starting with. 10. We have 10 products in here. A little bit more than 10. But coming in at number 10, we have the CC cream from Dermablend. Then at number 9, I have an SPF, and I'm super bummed about this, but the same thing happened the 2 different times I tried using it, so I think this is the culprit. So this is from Skinceuticals. This is their Daily Brightening UV Defense Sunscreen. Okay. So I like Skinceuticals. I've tried a handful of products from them, and I really did like them. They're a pretty expensive brand, but I mean, when you find something that works well for you, that's great. So this has SPF 30, and it's supposed to brighten and even skin tone. I am really bummed about this because I liked the way that it made my skin look. It really did kind of even everything out. When you pump it out, it doesn't really have like, it's not tinted by any means. but it acts almost like it's tinted. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it really does kind of just even everything out on your skin. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a fan of that. It's also a little bit more mattifying. Again, I do have more dry skin, but there's times where I can look a little bit shinier or a little bit oilier or whatnot, but I feel like when I put this on, it gives like a really just kind of like mattified base to do my makeup. And I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm gonna like this one. When I first started using it, I immediately got a breakout right here. You might be able to see that. And I was like, oh, bummer. And I got a little bit around my chin. I do still struggle with hormonal acne. I also got one like right up in here. It's probably somewhere buried in this highlight. You can probably see it though. I'm just too far away. When I get breakouts in those areas, usually it's a product that's doing that. If it's around my mouth or my jaw, it can be stress. It can be because my period's coming. It can be because I've had too much dairy. Like, it can be reasons like that. If it's around other parts of my face, typically it's a product that I'm putting on my skin. And at the time, this was the only new product that I had introduced, and I was like, could it be? Like, could it be that? So I stopped using it. I went back to just using my Biossance and my Bliss, 2 products. I just featured them in my last haul, my last shop with me at Sephora haul. And so I went back to using them, but then I used them all the way up. And then I kept meaning to go out and do this haul and get these products, but I hadn't replaced them yet, and I didn't have another facial sunscreen, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna use the Skinceuticals again and see how it goes. Bam. Same exact breakout came back. I was like, oh no. So that's why I'm thinking that this one is the culprit. And then I used it for quite a few days in a row, and I really do have a lot of breakouts on my skin now. I do think a lot of it is stress related. I have something big coming up soon that I have been working night and day on, and I'm so tired and so stressed and so everything. So I do think some of it is stress related, but especially those other breakouts I think is coming from this. So I'm very bummed because I did like it. So again, I'm not sure what ingredient is causing the breakout for me, and I wish there was like an easy way to narrow that down, but I thought it was a nice sunscreen. It broke me out, so I can't wear it. At number 8, I have another skin tint. There's quite a few in this video, but this would have been from not my last Sephora haul because that just went up, but the one before. I am reviewing some of the products that I grabbed in there. This one is from the Glowish brand, which is under the Huda Beauty line, and this is the Multi-Dew Skin Tint. I'm really bummed that I didn't love this. I got the shade 5 medium. The shade match is not great. It pulls slightly orange on me, which, you know, not really a fan of myself. But with this one, it just feels really drying. Again, I have dry skin. Maybe if you have oily skin, you might think differently about this one. But on me, it felt so hard to blend it into my skin. It just kind of felt like it was sitting on top. Once again, I have a demo on my Instagram. I will link it in the description box if you want to see it. I try to do a lot of demos over there of the new products that I'm trying out so you can see how they are applying onto my skin. And this one, you could just kind of tell that I was like, I don't know about this one. Shade match, not great, but the whole like, it just doesn't blend into my skin was not so good. It reminded me of the Florence by Mills skin tint, and something kept nagging at me as I kept trying this one. I was like, it's reminding me of something, but what is it? It's the Florence by Mills, which I did review in my skin tint ranking video, and I just really didn't have good things to say about it. If you love that one, I think that you would like this one. So that is what I'll say, but I personally, for my skin type, I did not like it. With this one, since it is like a shade or two too dark for me, what I've been doing is mixing it in with other foundations or other skin tints, ones that are too light, and I'm having a better time that way. Mixing it in with something that's especially a little bit more liquidy kind of helps it a little bit. I still get some of that like shade boost, but without that overly drying feeling. So that's kind of how I've been incorporating it. So I'm gonna keep it around and try to use it for those purposes, because the longer I'm here in Vegas, the more tan I keep getting. My face is really white compared to my body, which I love seeing that. That's what I want to see, because you know that I'm a big stickler for keeping my face out of the sun, but my body is definitely getting tanner, so some of my foundations are not matching, so I can use it for that purpose. But on its own, I really would not be wearing it. And then coming in at number 7, I'm a little bummed I didn't like this one more. It's not that I like super dislike this product. This would be kind of like the fine category. but I wish I would have liked it a little bit more. This is from Natasha Denona, and this is one of the new Puff Paint Liquid Blush Serum. And I got the shade, does it not say? It doesn't say the shade on here. That's really annoying. It's the lightest shade, like kind of like the tan one, peach or something along those lines. There is a swatch of it. So right off the bat, the shade is not great on me. It is very, very light, especially with, you know, being a little bit more tan and having my foundation match my body. When I apply this, it kind of just blends right into my skin, so I don't really notice much for blush. That's the biggest con. Honestly, like, that right there is the biggest con. I feel like whenever I use this, I still have to go back in and top it with like a peachy nude blush, just so you can see that I actually do have blush on. Other than that though, it wasn't a product that stood out to me. Like I said, it's not like it's a terrible product. It just, with my other liquid and cream blushes, I reach for them so much more than I do this. You know, sometimes I apply it on my hand and then pick it up on a sponge that way. Sometimes I apply directly on my cheek and blend it out that way. And it's fine. It was not any sort of standout product to me, and I really wish that it was. So I thought about getting another shade, but it's like, since it's not a standout to me, I don't feel like it's necessary to get another shade. Does that make sense? At number 6, I have a skincare product that I picked up in that Sephora haul. This is from the Inkey list, and this is their Oat Cleansing Balm. I really like this product. From here, I really like all of these. So yeah, this one from the Inkey list, this has been recommended for a very long time, and I've been testing it out for several weeks now. I pretty much use it almost every night in the PM. It is a pretty liquidy balm. I do kind of shake it up, like squeeze it, shake it up a little bit before I apply it, because otherwise it can kind of get a little separated, if you will, but it takes off makeup really well. I feel like my face is nice and clean. I don't have any other gunk on my face after I use this one. It's nice and gentle. I've been impressed with this. I've been having a good time with this cleanser, so I'm glad that I picked it up. And the Inkey list is a little bit more affordable, especially for being a line at Sephora, so I could definitely see myself repurchasing that one. I really like that it helps remove all of my makeup. My SPF, like I said, I wear SPF all day, so I'm always making sure to double cleanse, so I make sure I have everything off my face before I go to sleep. At number 5, I have a collaboration that came out recently. This is with Carli, Bybel, and Makiage. I really like this collab. I liked it more than I thought that I was going to, and I liked a product more, how am I saying this? I liked a product more than I thought I was going to, and a product actually less than I thought I was going to. So inside I think there was 2 different face palettes that were available. I got the one in Moonstruck, which I think is the light palette. So you have a bronzer, a blush, and then 2 highlighters here. I really liked all of these products. I know the layout is a little bit funky for me. I think it would have been great if it was even just a little bit smaller. I wouldn't have minded that at all with how small the actual products are. But the bronzer was nice and smooth. The blush was a little bit brighter than what I normally wear, but it was kind of fun to like mix it up. And then there were 2 highlights. I really didn't need 2 highlights in here. Sometimes I mix them together and that was fine, but actually I wore all of these on my eyes too. I wore the bronzer as a crease shade so much, and then just some of the highlight. Like, I wore that look a whole lot, and I thought that it worked out great for me. So I actually went into this palette quite a bit, and I wasn't really expecting that. I didn't know how often I would go into it, but because I found that I could use it for face and eyes, I liked the quality of it, so I kept going back. Now, the lip products I actually didn't love as much, and this is what surprised me, because when Carli did her last collaboration with Makiage, I loved the lip products. I still wear them all of the time. So when she released new shades, I was like, I am so excited about this. But I don't feel like these are the same. So these are in, what is the AI, I think it is? AI and then Taurus. So there's a matching lip liner and also a matte lipstick. And then there was another lip liner and lipstick that was available in her past collection, was available in this collection also. This was sent to me in PR. I was so excited about this. I love Carli Bybel. She's the first YouTuber I ever started watching, so I was gonna buy the collection even if I didn't get it in PR. I for sure was gonna buy the lip products. So those are the swatches of this, and I love the shades. They're so beautiful. The biggest thing though is that this is, they're very drying on the lips. I even went back to her first collab and re-wore the lip liner and the lipstick, because I was like, maybe it's just me, maybe, you know, things have gotten a little drier since I've been out here in Vegas, okay? But I was like, maybe it was just me, and I went back, I was like, no, I don't feel like these are the same formula. Even the lip liner on its own is dry. The lipstick is definitely even drier, and I just don't really love having dry lips, okay? Like, it's not my favorite. They're so beautiful though. I love a gorgeous matte nude lip. Like, it makes me so happy. And so sometimes I still wear it, even though eventually I end up topping it with a gloss or a lip oil, because it just makes my lips so dry. So I was a little bit surprised by that, but I still love the color so much. And then she did release brushes. I actually can't find the blush brush. I thought it was, yes, there it is. Ha! I thought it was out here. I thought it was out here, but I swear, sometimes I can't see what's right in front of me. So there was also brushes released in the collection. I actually really like both of these brushes. So we have one for bronzer and one for blush, or whatever that you want to use them for. But I use these all of the time. I used the bronzer brush today. I really liked the quality of these brushes. I will continue to use them. I know the collab is limited edition. I'm not sure exactly what's available at this given time, but what I would recommend, I would say, the brushes, the face palette, and then if you don't mind a more dry lip and, you know, a matte nude lip is your thing, you might like the lips. Like I said, I'm still gonna wear them. It's just they're a little bit too dry for my personal liking. All right, at number 4, I have another skin tint. This one here is from Tarte. This is their C Hydroflex Serum Foundation. I have the shade 25N in light, medium, neutral for this one. So I also picked this up at the same time as the Glowish. I do like to mix the Glowish because this shade is actually a little bit too light for me. And this is a very, very liquidy, very thin consistency skin tint. So when I add in the Glowish to this, I feel like they actually make a really good match. So that's typically how I've been wearing the Tarte. I did wear it on its own the first handful of times so I could get an idea of it. But then since then, I have been mixing in the Glowish. I did like this one. I will say, what will I say? I did like this one. Again, very liquid, like, I don't know if you can hear that, but very, very liquidy, very thin consistency. You really do need a small amount of product, and it's gonna take you a long way. At first, I wasn't too sure how I was feeling about it, but I ended up enjoying it more than I thought that I was going to. The wear time is pretty decent on it also, especially out here in the Vegas heat. I feel like it has held up pretty well. I will say for the finish, it's more natural, which I typically do like. Sometimes the word that comes to my mind is it can make my skin look a little bit flat. That's why I think either mixing this in with something kind of like the Glowish, or even something like the Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy, something like that. Something to just give it a little bit of oomph, or to wear like a little extra highlight, or something to give you a little extra glow. I don't think is such a bad thing, because it's not that it's dry, because I don't find it drying. It just kind of makes my skin look a little bit flat, and I kind of wanted to give it a little bit more oomph, if you know what I'm saying. But I like the wear time on it. It's really, this one blends really easily into the skin. I didn't have any issues with that. And yeah, I've definitely been grabbing for this one quite a bit. I just would recommend like maybe a mixer with it. But it's good, And at number 3, I did not think these products were gonna get a good review. And this is why I don't review off of first impressions. This is why I'm very adamant to say this is a first impression. This is why I'm very adamant to say I don't review products, like put my official review stamp out there until I've tried them at least minimum 3 times or more, because you just never know. These are the Makeup by Mario sticks. So we have the Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick. I have the shade Light Medium, and then also the Soft Pop Blush Stick, and I got the shade Plumberry, right? Yes, Plumberry. Now I will say the brushes on these are terrible. I have no idea who did this. I have no idea who thought of this. I have no idea who approved this. No idea who let this happen. I hate the brushes, and I know a lot of you do too. I talked about the Soft Sculpt Stick in my ranking all of my bronzers. So I included the one from Makeup by Mario, and pretty much every single comment also agreed that the sticks are just not good. That the brush side is just not good, so I don't recommend that. And I will say that was one thing that had me excited about this product, because I thought like, oh, I'm so into like minimal on the go type of makeup these days that I was like, oh, I could just do and then brush and then be done. I do not like the brushes. I don't think that they do anything well for the skin. What I like to do is either pick it up directly from a sponge or apply to my hand and pick up from a sponge that way. I do like a damp sponge versus a brush with this. That's just kind of personally how I found that I have liked it. But once I found that way, then I really liked it. I feel like the shade is really good for me. Using it with a damp sponge really helps kind of blend it a little bit more seamlessly into the skin, and then I think it looks good. With the blush, same thing, don't recommend the brush. Plumberry, the shade is a little bit darker, but if I use a damp sponge and kind of sheer it out a little bit, it still gives me enough color to where I like it. It looks a little bit more punchy on my cheeks, but it's not gonna be too much. When I first tried these in that first impression video that I can link in the cards, I did apply them directly to my skin, which a lot of times I do that with a cream product. These I definitely would not recommend. I would say pick up directly from the product or put it on your hand first and then kind of help sheer them out that way. But once I did that, again, to me, it was just finding the right technique for them. And sometimes there's just different techniques that are gonna work better for different products, and that's the way that I found that I like these. But once I started doing that, I reach into both of these products quite a bit. So I'm really happy that we ended up having a happy ending with those because it was not looking good in the beginning. All right, coming in at number 2, this is a product you have seen on my lips so much and you've heard me talk about so much. These are the new lip oils from Sigma Beauty. So Sigma Beauty just released the Renew lip oils. My personal favorite is the shade here, which is in Tint. I really wasn't sure if I was going to love a lip oil because I really haven't in the past. But in the past, I also never loved lip gloss, and now I love lip gloss. And I really like the lip oil because it kind of reminds me of a gloss, except it's so smooth. It's very hydrating. It just kind of gives a nice moisture to the lips without looking like too overboard or too glossy, but it still gives you some shine. But I keep going back to it feels really good on my lips. I can tell that my lips are definitely much drier since being out here in Vegas. I try to stay hydrated. I use my lip mask at night. I use my Kopari lip glossy in the morning. I use my lip scrubs, but it just is what it is. Like, you can only do so much when you live in this kind of climate. But I feel like when I use these lip oils, it feels so nice and moisturizing. So if that's something that you're really looking for, I would definitely recommend these from Sigma. They have jojoba oil, sunflower seed oil, and also vitamin E. Like I said, my favorite shade is Tint because it just gives like that little hint of a nude shade to it. I do usually wear a nude lip liner underneath. That's just normally like my lip routine is a lip liner topped with a gloss, a lip oil, sometimes a matte lipstick. But I've been reaching into this so much. You've been seeing it linked in my description box so often. I've just been really enjoying them. I am an affiliate with Sigma. They were sent to me in PR, and my code is Samantha if you're interested in trying them out. But I've really been enjoying them and wearing them so often I'd get Tint out of my purse because it's pretty much just always in there. Before we jump into the number 1 spot, I do like to do a creator shout out. I've been doing this on my channel for a couple years now, and it's always one of my favorite things to do. This month I want to shout out someone who I know that I've already shouted out, though it was probably a couple years ago that I did. But I'm shouting out my friend Mel Thompson. She is how do you describe Mel? She's such a great person. She is so supportive of so many people. I always see her shouting other people out and lifting other people up, and she's just such a kind human. I'm gonna go ahead and link her channel down below, and I hope that you will go and check it out. And Mel, we are all thinking of you, and hope you're doing okay. All right, and then it is time for the number 1 spot. It is an eyeshadow palette. I'm kind of shooketh. I'm kind of shooketh that it's an eyeshadow palette that is going into the number 1 spot because I really haven't been into palettes. Like, I'm still into palettes, don't get me wrong. I still wear them. It is what it is. But I've been very much into my singles recently, my ColourPop Super Shocks, my Oryx. Those are the types of products that I'm reaching for more and more. But this palette really took me by surprise. I did not know if I wanted to purchase this. I didn't know if I was going to use it enough, and I didn't know if I was going to use it enough to justify the higher price tag. But the Patrick Ta Major Dimension palette has really caught me by surprise. So, you know, obviously looking at the inside, it was like, yeah, I'm going to use all these colors, okay? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I like all these colors. I like all these tones. I like that we had a row of mattes. I like that we had a row of different shimmers. There's some more kind of like pretty toppers in here. There's some more very shimmery shades. But then we also have 2 cream shadows here. And I was very interested in that, which last year even I wouldn't have been, but I'm much more into cream products now. And something about a cream eyeshadow I just find really easy to work with these days. and that is not something I said, again, last year. I like that we have like the little cover that goes over these two. I think that's really nice. But I reach into this so much. You can do an all matte look. There's such a different variety that you can do with the shimmers, not only with the different finishes, but I like that each shimmer is a completely different tone. Like you can completely change up the eye looks. I know I had someone ask, is it kind of like a, like you can only get one eye look from this palette? And I absolutely do not think so. You can play, even the cream shadows are different. They have different tones to them, different undertones to them. All of the mattes are very, very different. And again, all of the shimmers, you can create very different eye looks with this palette. It's very easy to use. A lot of times I use my fingers for the shimmers, my fingers for the creams. It's very fast and simple, kind of that makeup style that I'm into right now, just quick and easy and on the go. And this one is what's giving it to me. It's a $68 palette. It's expensive. I do think it's a little bit overpriced, I'm not gonna lie to you, but you know, it's not my brand, so it is what it is. I purchased it full price, and honestly, I have no regrets. I reach for this one so often, I'm wearing it so often, and I think that it's beautiful, and I always get compliments when I wear this one. So I'm impressed with the Patrick Ta. I have to say, I am impressed. Other than that, like I said, I do not have a book favorite this month. I didn't have any 5-star books for the month of June, but you can always check out my blog, which is chicletplus.com. I do always do book reviews over there. So if you're ever looking for something to read or want some ideas for new reading material, you can check the blog. And the other thing that I've been working on, I have something coming in just a few days. In just a few days, I will have some more news to share, and I'm incredibly nervous about this, but very excited. And it's what I've been working on so much. I feel like I haven't been in my comment section quite as much, or just as present online as I normally am, and it's because I have been working so hard on what's going on. I'm doing it pretty much by myself, and it's so daunting, and I'm very excited though, so stay tuned because I will have some news coming up very soon that I am excited to share with you. So I thought I would include that here at the end of my makeup monthly, since I don't have a book to chat about with you for this one, but I will for July, so stay tuned. But other than that, that is it for ranking all of the makeup that I have been trying out in the last month or so. I will link everything down below. I would love to hear your thoughts, of course, on the products that I reviewed. And other than that, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.